Good morning guys. Today I will be continuing with my previous lecture of molar conductivity and what is the effect of molar conductivity on dilution. First I will recall you previous lecture that what is molar conductivity. When we are having 1 mole salt and placed in a container or in a cell in which the area of electrode is so large that whole of the 1 mole electrolyte is present between the electrode. So if you are having a cell and whole of the amount of electrolyte is present between electrodes and amount of electrolyte is 1 mole. Now what is the effect of dilution on it? I will explain you what is effect of dilution. So I am writing here variation of molar conductivity with dilution. It is very important topic by the view of board examination. So I am writing here this is Debye-Hückel-Onsager equation. According to this is the relation between concentration and limiting molar conductivity, that lambda mc is equal to lambda m naught minus a root c, where lambda m is molar conductivity at any given concentration. Lambda m is molar conductivity at infinite dilution. What is mean by infinite dilution? That now you are shifting 1 mole of electrolyte into a container with infinite dilution. 1 mole salt present but dilution is infinite. And A is constant, it is Debye-Hückel constant, and root C is concentration of electrolyte. Okay guys, so now I will start with the graph of this. This equation is y equal to mh plus c. So I will draw its graph. I am taking on y axis lambda m, and lambda m I am taking on y axis, and root c I am taking on x axis. Now on drawing graph I am taking 2 electrolyte, hydrochloric acid and acetic acid. Now I will show you that what is the effect on decreasing concentration on both these 2 electrolyte. In this one electrolyte, HCl is very strong electrolyte and acetic acid is weak electrolyte. So what is mean by strong electrolyte? Strong electrolyte means electrolyte in which ions are already dissociated. It is already present in the form of its ions. And weak electrolyte means when any electrolyte in which it is not present completely in the form of ion, there is only partial dissociation of ions in case of acetic acid. Okay guys, so I am diluting HCl, this was my concentration. I am decreasing its concentration according to this on x-axis. On decreasing concentration of HCl, there will be rise in its molar conductivity, because molar conductivity always increases with dilution. So molar conductivity with dilution is increasing and it can be extrapolated on y-axis. This y-axis gives the value of lambda naught m. So first thing which I want to clear you about this graph, that lambda naught m can be find out for a strong electrolyte. A strong electrolyte shows extra flotation, that's why this value is known as lambda naught m for strong electrolyte. And second thing, for weak electrolyte, in weak electrolyte you can see this graph like this. Okay, so what is the change? There is a very sharp change in the molar conductivity with dilution. For weak electrolyte there is a strong change, first thing. But second thing, this graph cannot be extrapolated. So we are having one thing for strong electrolyte, there is a sharp change and it can be extrapolated. And for weak electrolyte there is a very sharp change in molar conductivity, but it cannot be extrapolated. So we cannot find out limiting molar conductivity, means molar conductivity at infinite dilution for weak electrolyte. We cannot find out limiting molar conductivity, means lambda naught m for weak electrolyte, because this graph cannot be extrapolated. And HCl gave its lambda naught m by using graphene. Any electrolyte which is strong in nature shows lambda naught m value by using this graph, and any weak electrolyte cannot give its lambda naught m. Now what's the reason about so sharp change in weak electrolyte? Because HCl is already having a particular fixed amount of ions in its solution. So after dilution it only rises its mobility of ion. But in case of acetic acid, with dilution, first is it increases its number of ions, and its second thing, it also increases its mobility. So two things are there: increase in number of ions, and second is mobility. Okay, so two things are related with weak electrolyte: increase in number of ions, and second thing, mobility. Two things are increases here, and here is only increase in mobility in number of ions. That's why these electrolyte, these kinds of electrolyte shows a very sharp change. Okay guys, so but we are unable to find out its limiting molar conductivity. So how can we find out limiting molar conductivity for weak electrolyte? For this I will use a very important law for this chapter, that is Coriolis law. So I will writing here its statement. So guys, you come to know that we cannot find out limiting molar conductivity for weak electrolyte. So I will use Coriolis law to find out limiting molar conductivity for any weak electrolyte. Now what is what is Coriolis law? According to Coriolis law, the limiting molar conductivity for any electrolyte is equal to the sum of ions present in its solution. Like in case of limiting molar conductivity for NaCl is sum of limiting molar conductivity of cation and sum of limiting molar conductivity of cation and anion. So limiting molar conductivity for any electrolyte is equal to the sum of limiting molar conductivity of cation and limiting molar conductivity of anion. Okay, in case of barium chloride, I can write here, we are having BaCl2, so I can write here lambda naught m for barium plus lambda naught m for chloride. So I am writing here twice because I am having two ions in BaCl2. Okay guys, so I will use these formula to find out limiting molar conductivity for acetic acid. So I am writing here, I have to find out limiting molar conductivity of acetic acid. So I will choose three electrolyte which are strong in nature. So I am writing here lambda naught m CH3COO Na. So I will get from CH3CO minus and Na plus, and for H ion I am using HCl, hydrochloric acid. It means I am having H plus and Cl minus. Now what is the extra thing? Extra thing is NaCl. So I will less NaCl from its solution. So I will get concentration of CH3CO minus and H plus only. This is equal to the CH3COH. So I am using sodium acetate, hydrochloric acid and sodium chloride to find out the limiting molar conductivity for acetic acid. So I am explaining again the limiting molar conductivity of water because it is again strong electrolyte. For this I am using, for H plus ion I am taking HCl, for OH I am taking NaOH, and for remaining amount I am subtracting NaCl from it. So I will subtract NaCl from it. So I will get only concentration of H plus and OH minus to get limiting molar conductivity of water. Another example. I am taking one electrolyte NH4OH. For this you are provided with limiting molar conductivity of barium hydroxide. So I need only one OH. So I will take only its half amount. Plus for NH4 I am using NH4Cl. So I am getting NH4 plus from here and OH minus from here. Remaining portion is half Ba and 1 Cl. So I will subtract the molar conductivity of BaCl2 and it's half of BaCl2 from the total amount. Okay guys, so you can find out limiting molar conductivity of any weak electrolyte by using this equation. So what is Cornash's law? That the limiting molar conductivity for any electrolyte is equal to the sum of limiting molar conductivity of cation and anion. Okay, and if you are present with the different number of ions, then you can multiply the number of ions by the suitable molar conductivities. Okay guys, so I am writing here another example. How can we find the limiting molar conductivity for aluminium sulfate? So I am giving one practice for all of you. Aluminium sulfate contain 2 aluminium ions. So I am writing the concentration of limiting molar conductivity of aluminium ion. Now number of ions here 2. So I am writing here 2, and second limiting molar conductivity of sulfate ion. Now I will multiply it by 3. So this is limiting molar conductivity for aluminium sulfate, and this is application of Cornash's law, that by this law we can find out limiting molar conductivity of any weak electrolyte, which this graph cannot be explained. Now what is the another use? It's another use that degree of dissociation means alpha. Degree of dissociation can be calculated by using this formula, lambda Cm upon lambda naught m. What is mean by lambda Cm? The concentration which is given in question is known as lambda Cm, and another thing lambda naught m. The concentration on infinite dilution you can find out by this method. So you can find out alpha to find out degree of dissociation. And what is the third application? I can find out equilibrium constant by using formula C alpha square upon 1 minus alpha. Okay guys, so I will explain you one numerical problem related. So guys, for this molar conductivity and for Cornash's law and for limiting molar conductivity, I am having one sample problem with me. So I am having 3 electrolyte. These are again HCl, sodium acetate and sodium chloride, and their limiting molar conductivities are 384.3 Simon centimeter square mole inverse. For NaC it is 78.4 Simon centimeter square mole inverse. You know what are the units of molar conductivity, and for NaCl it is 102.0 Simon centimeter square mole inverse. So these are given in question, and the lambda Cm, the molar conductivity at any dilution is given here 100.0 Simon centimeter square. So I will use these things to find out my degree of dissociation and K, and solution is centinormal. Centinormal solution means its concentration is 1/100 moles per liter. So these are information given in question I will use in my numerical problem. So I can find out limiting molar conductivity of acetic acid So for acetate ion, I will take NaC means sodium acetate. It contains acetate ion. So 78.4. And for H plus ion, I will take HCl. So plus 384.3. Now my remaining amount is NaCl because I am having HAC means acetic acid by these two informations. When my remaining part is NaCl, so I will less minus NaCl. Okay guys, so my answer is coming by calculation. My answer is coming according to this question 344.9 Simon centimeter square mole inverse. This is my limiting molar conductivity. Now I will take alpha. What is the formula of alpha? Its formula is lambda Cm upon lambda naught m. According to question, lambda C is given 100 and my lambda naught is 344.9. So I can calculate my alpha. Now I will place its value in Kc means equilibrium constant. So its formula is C alpha square. C is 0.01 and alpha square upon 1 minus alpha. So I will calculate my alpha from here and I will place my value here to calculate Kc. So these kinds of simple calculations are coming in the Cordarsh's law and the law of limiting molar conductivity. Okay guys, so I think you will like my lecture and thank you and having a good day.